Before we start our program, I would like to offer the land acknowledgement. Hi, my name is Sering Wangyal, and I'm a Tibetan by origin. We're all settlers here. So this evening, our event is being held in Takaranto. I would like to acknowledge that we are all treaty people, and the location of the event is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabeg, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and the Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. I would like to wish everyone a wonderful and expressive Tibetan Heritage Month, as this year it is our very first year that we're celebrating this. Enjoy the show. Tccc, the Good Luck Dance. Tccc is the oldest opera company in Tibet. This dance originally appeared in a dream of the great fifth Dalai Lama in 1645 and was performed during the enthronement ceremony of the fifth Dalai Lama. The performer wearing the white beard mask represents Saint Tandon Gyalpo, the founder of Lhamo, which is Tibetan opera, who reputedly lived for 140 years and also symbolizes long life and good health. Lhamo opera conveys the teachings of Lord Buddha through historical reenactment. The purpose of this very dance is to bring good luck and good omens, especially to inaugurate special occasions such as construction or opening of a monastery or big official gatherings. And this year, especially today, it is the perfect occasion as we proclaim the month of July as the first ever Tibetan Heritage Month celebrating in the province of Ontario. Hello and Tashi everyone. My name is Sering Wangyal and I am the current president of the Tibetan Canadian Cultural Centre and the Canadian Tibetan Association of Ontario that represents approximately 8,000 to 9,000 Tibetans living in the province of Ontario. I would like to welcome you all this year 2021, month of July, as we celebrate the first Tibetan Heritage Month. July in Ontario is Tibetan Heritage Month, a province-wide celebration of Tibetan contributions to Ontario and Tibetan culture. Ontario is the first jurisdiction in the world to recognize Tibetan Heritage Month. On July 6th, Tibetans around the world celebrate the birthday of His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, who is an honorary Canadian citizen. A few days ago here at the center, we virtually celebrated the 86th birthday of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, and offered our profound gratitude. Bill 131, Tibetan Heritage Month Act, was tabled by Butila Karpache, Member of Provincial Parliament for the Parkdale High Park. She is the first Tibetan to hold public office in North America. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge her contribution in the passage of this bill, which is historic. Since the 1970s, the Tibetan Canadian population has grown to become a remarkable addition to the diverse cultural mosaic contributing to the growth of Canada. Tibetan Heritage Month is also an opportunity to educate a younger generation about the significant roles that Tibetan Canadians have played and continue to play in Ontario. A large population of Tibetans live in Parkdale area, which is also known as Little Tibet, a community that has been forced to flee their homeland and has been displaced and now have found Ontario, Canada, their home, and we can proudly now say that we're known as a resilient, thriving community. This evening, as you learn more about Tibet and its distinct culture, I am sure over the next many years as we celebrate the Tibetan Heritage Month, we will be able to reflect more on our history, our wisdom, our stories, and our identity. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the show. Our kids spent every morning in prayer and meditation session before they even begin their language classes. So as you can see, they are kids of various age groups. They sit calmly in a shared environment, and normally we have either the principal of the school or a monk who will lead them in prayer and meditation. Speaking about meditation, according to His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, there is no reason to get frustrated, as meditation is all about observing one's mind and bringing it to a natural state of consciousness. Geshe Lagdorla, who is a learned man, says that meditation is like playing a sport. You need to put a lot of effort when playing a certain sport. You need to make it habitual, so that the more you practice or repeat something, you become an expert in it. So it's about all, it comes down to calming your mind. And the next, as you can see, now we're watching the kids learn the Tibetan language. The center hosts language classes for various age groups, and the kids develop their Tibetan language reading skills, writing, and spoken skills as well. There are 2 semesters that are held here at the center. Classes start in September, and they go all the way through December, which is the first semester. And then the second semester starts in February and ends at the end of June, along with the same schedule with the schools. Tibetans have a very strong popular music culture. Here are some of the traditional music instruments that is used in Tibetan music. The drumnye, a 6-string lute, is an acoustic instrument and comes in various designs, but we have shown 2 popular ones here. The larger drumnye is more traditional. The smaller one has been modified with modern tuning keys. The next is the piwang. The piwang is similar to a violin and is mostly used to play songs called bashe from the province of Kham. The next is yangjin, is a hammered dulcimer. The wooden black instrument that you see is called the hammered dulcimer. It has multiple strings, and you use 2 wooden sticks to strike on the keys, and it makes the appropriate sound.
chi ba sing yang na mang gan de na te chi yen ta ma sun ten de sing ma ro
ta ki ta no cho na ta bong bo chum ta chi 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 ba ya ma yang ta lam po vi ma ya ti chi ya ta ma sun ten de sing ma ro
la tu di ha mo li da ma nang ni ti di da to li na na shen je ma su tro ban da shi ni e na ni kan de te ma to
Roasted barley flour called tsampa is the staple food of Tibet. Tibetan cuisine includes the culinary traditions and practices of our people and reflects the Tibetan landscape of mountains and plateaus, and includes influences from our neighbors such as Nepal and India. Some of the other popular dishes are shapale, meat and cabbage in bread, thukpa, dinner staple consisting of vegetables, meat and noodles of various shapes and broth, and of course our famous momos, beef dumplings, which we share at every CMC festival. So here's how we make our momos. We cut them in small pieces about 2 centimeters each, and then we roll them, roll the dough, we put the meat, in a small tortilla, and we fold. Look at the design, and it's finished in a nice circular shape. This is the second folding technique that our chef Paldenla is demonstrating. This one is a little bit easier to fold than the previous one. And we need to make sure that the covering is very thin. Once the momos go into the steamer, they are steamed for about 15 to 20 minutes. And once they're ready, juicy, hot momos are right onto your plate. The third one, as I mentioned, is called the kode. It's pan fried, and once it's ready, we turn it upside down, and now delicious pan fried momos are right onto your white plate. Making of pak. Tsampa is a hearty, nutty tasting flour made from roasted barley. It is one of Tibet's staple food. In fact, the grain is so integral to Tibetan culture that Tibetan people are collectively referred to as tsampa eaters or Phemi tsamse. The most common way to eat tsampa is to mix it by hand with butter, butter tea, dried cheese, and sometimes sugar to form a dough. So now, as you can see, Thupten Lekshila is taking tsampa or barley, roasted barley, into his bowl. And now mixing it with buttered tea in a circular fashion. So if you want the pa to be a little more dry, you add some more tsampa. Many Tibetans back in Tibet and even in exile eat pa 3 times a day. Today it is still common that Tibetans eat pa in central Tibet, especially when traveling because the tsampa or the barley is roasted ahead of time. And it is usually put in a leather pouch for mixing the ingredients on the road, while on the road. Now look at how Lekshila is enjoying the pa and the buttery flavor of the tsampa. You would enjoy the pa with buttered tea, salted buttered tea, Okay, so this month is the month of July, and we are celebrating the Tibetan Heritage Month here in the province of Ontario. So I thought it would be a great idea to get some perspective on Buddhist philosophy from our resident caretaker here at the Tibetan Canadian Cultural Center. And Geshe Ngawang Tharjinla is here with me. He's the religious caretaker here. And so we all know that the Tibetan religion is part of our culture. So I think it would be a great idea to get Geshe-la's perspective on what is Buddhism. Geshe-la, so what is Buddhism?
So this is funny things because Buddhism is not much of the religion, because it does not demand that when you put faith or put worship and belief, but it does provide with your opportunity. You can do those things as well. But what is the Buddha's teaching boiled down to is how you behave and how you think, how you approach your life. It is all about our way of thinking and way of living, a way of knowing how to handle our life rather than worship or belief. So that is Buddhism is. Even His Holiness Dalai Lama, he said the Buddhists Buddhists have to make 3 categories. There's the Buddhist science and Buddhist philosophy and Buddhist religion. So that means even like those great master, Nalanda great master like Nagarjuna and Chandrakirti. So their principle and their view are very relevant with the scientists.
Okay, so it's today's, lifestyle, so it's very relevant.
Yes, very relevant.
Okay. So you're saying it's part of our day-to-day life, how we view things and how you want to live your life.
Yes, yes.
And it teaches you how to make changes through different practices.
Yes, yes.
So how is Tibetan religion, the Tibetan Buddhism, different from other Buddhism that we talk about? Right? So I think there are many...
Yeah, actually, like Tibetan Buddhism, there's a way. Mostly like they have Vajrayana practice and we have Mahayana practice, what we are doing. So also the Theravada practice, so actually all of those are doing Buddhist, So actually whatever we do, like Dhamma means essence of Buddha teachings, or essence of Buddhist Dhamma means like Buddha said, there's one stanza in the Sutra, Vinaya Sutra, he said, do not harm other. So that is indicate like non-violence, principles of non-violence. So that is like that kind of mind is a foundation of when you create the bodhicitta mind and the compassion mind or enlightened. So that is very important we need. And second line is to cultivate and to practice virtues perfectly. So that means like how we care other, how we good things to do others, definitely we will get the result. For example, like when our pet, so when we care good for those pet, so whenever we see those pet, they always showing us their love and they're moving their tail. That means like that is the result of our happiness. So that's like we don't need the scientific proof it. We don't need the prediction of astrologer. That is reality and that's nature.
No.
And third line is very important. Third and fourth lines. So essence of Buddha's teaching like how to tame our mind, to tame and to conquer our mind. That is the teaching of Dhamma. So why we have a lot of problem, why we have a lot of suffering, because we are not enough able to tame our mind. That's why we will get a lot of suffering and we will get a lot of problem. So our negative emotions are always overtake with us. If we are not alert in those negative emotions. There's a Tibetan great master, his name is Geshe Ben Kunchen.
No.
So he said his special practice is he stands at the doorway of his negative emotion with a spear in his hand.
Okay.
When his negative emotions are active, so he will be alert.
Okay.
When his negative emotions are relaxed, he will take the rest. So that is what he used to practice. So that's very important because our negative emotions overtake with us if we are not in alert. So that's very important.
You hear about Tibetans being peace-loving people. They're compassionate. Why do you think a lot of Tibetans have cultivated that, habit, or I would say this good nature that they have? Why do you think it is, I'm sure other cultures have that too, but within Tibetans, it seems to be kind of natural. Where does that come from?
So actually,
what do you think?
So my opinion is actually Tibetan is like Buddhist country.
Yeah.
So most of we will get those good advice by our parents and also our religious master like His Holiness Dalai Lama. He gave thousands giving the teachings.
Yeah.
So mostly people when we heard many times for his teachings, so that can change our minds. And that's we have. Actually, everybody have Buddha nature. Buddha said like everybody will become a Buddha. We all have a Buddha nature because that mind is like actually mind, nature of our mind is like clear light and luminosity. Why we have problem? So because of those clear light or luminosity, mind is full of covered by the negative emotions like anger, attachment. That's why you will get a lot of suffering. So that's why everybody have those Buddha nature. So Buddha, that is special of the Buddha's teachings. So Buddha himself says, if you do whatever he did, like hard work, if you do practice whatever he did, so you will also become a Buddha. So that is like a very special teaching of Buddha.
So Buddhahood is being able to control your mind.
Yes, it's all cultivated by our mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And thank you very much for sharing your time with us today, and I'm sure this will be helpful to our younger generation and our viewers out there who are watching today. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for it.
Many problem is our own creation. We forget oneness of humanity.
Samar bochene zamliyo la korso changi the mojani zamli shi de treso kungi nindo ishlorbu tarlela hama kungi nindo ishlorbu tarlela जीवर धारण कर पूरे विश्व में भ्रमण किए, दोनों हाथों को जोड़कर विश्व भर में शांति फैलाए। नमस्मा पूछे Dalai Lama, Dalai Lama.